journey and linking it to equity markets, you've seen so many of these boom and bust cycles, Madhu. You've seen so much structural change in India. When you look back at your 35 years and when you now look ahead the next 15 or 20 years, what's the message that stays with you?
So the biggest thing for me is being the real entrepreneurship of Indians and Indian entrepreneurs. And the resilience which I see in Indian entrepreneurs, the perseverance which I see, the determination which I see, against all odds, they are just at it, the people who really make it. I am not talking about generally for everyone. The people who have really made it, they are always at it. They are not like what you discussed earlier. They are not distracted by noise that this is not happening, that is not happening. But rather, they are, pursuing something which they truly believe and against all odds. That is what, and that has been, to my mind, the real India story. That we have had so many changes, so many fragile governments, 1992 happened and then Gulf War happened and X, Y, Z. But if you look at, there's been individual companies which has gone up like, in my career, 1,000 times, 2,000 times, 3,000 times, 4,000 times. But people have just been able to be relentlessly there. And in my understanding, that doesn't change. So today also, as an investor, what I really look, am I able to really identify a jockey, right? Someone who is at the helm and who will be able to drive it and will not get distracted. And if you find that, that is the real winning idea. And that has been a real winning idea for India. If you look at, in the face of what has happened, there are Ambanis and there are Adanis and there are Jindals who have created billions and trillions of dollars of empires in this very country. And there are other sets of people, you will find they are still cribbing, they are still complaining. Sarkar ye nahi kar rahi hai, sarkar wo nahi kar rahi hai. But at the end of the day, a real entrepreneurship is not about blame game. It is about truly believing in your own self and pursuing what you believe. Obstacles will come, but that's the job of an entrepreneur, right?
Absolutely. And, Madhu, it's so interesting that you talk about perseverance, cutting the noise. And I think one sect of investors which has followed that all through the last, at least from COVID lows up until now, is the retail mutual fund investor. They were the ones which really supported the market, at least last 2 years when FIIs were busy selling India. We had an exodus of $22 billion of outflows from the capital markets. But the faith of Indian investors, that's the one which has kept the Indian markets afloat. Do you think structurally Indian capital markets are in a good shape for their faith to actually hold true and come true?
Yeah, I would say they have been the real hero of this last bull run. If you see, they are the people who have really made money. The other thing, Aisha, equity as an asset class has changed shapes. Even I have seen it very closely, from a satta-driven market to a tip-driven market to someone. Now, at least 13 crore people in India believing that it is a real asset class. And we want to invest money and we want to invest for real long term. See, something as little, it took years for people to understand that a small amount of saving invested over a long period of time can actually generate disproportionate wealth and can generate, generations of financial security. Like what we discussed last time, 11,000 rupees saved per month in a respectable mutual fund. A mutual funds by and large have given, let's say, 14% return in last 25 years. If we believe this is what is going to continue for the next 50 years, if you save 11,000 rupees per month, you can gain 100 crores after 50 years. So that's the real power of belief in investing. And I think somewhere down the line, this message has gone loud and clear. And if I compare last 25 return of banks and mutual fund, it's been disproportionately larger money on an absolute basis is being made by people who have believed in India. And I think that is not likely to change unless there is a real some black swan which happens, which shakes the investor. I think this faith is only going to get built up, and you will see much larger flows over the next 1 decade from Indian investors. And this will come in the face of whether foreigners are buying or selling.
Kudos to that. But